We are starting without Greg. We started without
no theme song.
Yeah, I know. It's the last time this happened. Good things didn't result. Welcome to Mazecast episode 7. Tonight we're going to be talking about Room 24. And an extra special treat tonight, we have the much mentioned and rarely seen David Gentile on the show to tell us about Room 24. Also with us, we've got Ben Heaton, who's been here a number of times. Andrew is back again. Alex is barely visible in the shadows.
Hello.
I'm excited about this episode. I don't think we're going to have a heck of a lot in terms of clues to share or uncover about 24. I could be wrong. I do think there's some stuff in 24 that relates to the nature of the guide, if it doesn't actually reveal the clear identity of the guide. But I think 24 is an important room in terms of the overall aesthetic of the book. You know, I think it kind of changes the tone of the book overall. It's a really important room. You know, before you get to 24, you've got this guy who's kind of a dick, and he's misleading you, but you don't really know what he's up to, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, yeah, he's trapping you in a hole forever. You know, it really is a sinister thing that's going on throughout the book. He's not kidding when he says that in the first room. And I like that we're focusing on sort of a more aesthetic aspect of the book tonight, because I think for most of us, because most of us were captivated long before we had any kinds of real puzzle solutions or anything going on here. I think most of us were captivated on an aesthetic level before any kind of a puzzle level, and so I think it's due to talk about those qualities of Maze. Well, having said that, I'll turn it over to David Gentile, who's going to give us a summary of things that are known or noticed in Room 24.
Okay. I'll just say it's genteel, but everybody would get that wrong the first time because it's either gentilly or gentile the first time, but we do genteel.
Oh.
All right, so I actually got more than a page when I wrote this out, so we'll start and people jump in as things come up. So this is the end of the game. If you lose,
it's so messy in there.
You either
Whoa, having some. What was that?
Background noise. Either you get here directly, like the girls did 2 weeks ago, or you end up in the trap. From which you can't obviously escape, at least, and you wander around until you get to 24. White Raven calls this the Abyss, which is an appropriate name, it seems. Although, if this is from Kabbalah, then the Abyss normally refers to just the whole lower part of the tree of life. But either way, the Abyss seems a good name for it. And maybe White Raven has some other reason for calling this room specifically the Abyss that doesn't have anything to do with Kabbalah or something like that. But let's see. Stygian suggests the river Styx in the Greek underworld, which is all part of the whole Minotaur Greek mythology theme. The physics-defying eyes could be part of that. The idea that there is that the ancients believed that eyes emitted light rather than receiving it, and that you can actually find in the Gospels. Matthew 6:22. The lamp is the lamp of the body is the eye. So, let's see. Then in room 42, I think the bear directs sinners to the left, and one of those is the door to the trap. So we could also think of this place as hell-like, and certainly a lot of people when they first got here did, given all the devils and stuff. And I think in 43, there's some sort of hell reference that I have no idea what it's about yet.
It's also, I mean, the trap is indicated in a couple different places as seeming to be on the bottom floor of the house. Yep. Not everywhere, but, you know, at one point it's at the bottom of a ladder, another point it's at the bottom of a slide. So I agree, there's certainly some hell symbolism going on there.
Yeah, except for
Underworld themed.
Except for maybe 22 and possibly 43. I mean, everything looks really, really deep underground in the trap. So I don't know if I agree that there's three. to the house.
What?
I think the loop might just be dark because it's at night and indoors. But this is definitely the basement here.
Are we?
So moving on.
24, right?
What? Is that who said that?
Not me. Not me.
You guys heard that voice coming through? Is that Alex? Is that you?
Is that Alex? Andrew?
No, it wasn't me.
Wait, I haven't heard anything from Alex. And are you there, Alex?
I thought
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
here.
24.
Okay, he's there. Sorry,
Okay.
go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
I'm here.
Oh, hey.
I was just going to say, how many steps does it take to get to 24? Is it a record-breaking 3 or 4 steps?
You can get there from 2 steps.
Yeah, go to 21, right? And then the 24.
Yeah. You can get from the entranceway. You can get there 1,
Yeah.
2. Go right to 21 and then right to 24.
Right.
It's a very accessible room.
All right.
It is
so-
very friendly.
So another way you might think of the room is the endless void of space. The text has the word unlimited, and his laughter could not even fill the space. There's a theme in Maze, I think, where especially bells, but sound in general represent faith. And here I think we might say the voices are souls. Voices repeated in the text, so the fact that even his laughter couldn't fill the emptiness. It's another hell-like theme. It's like separation from God. Assuming, since this guy created this maze, he's sort of like God of the maze, and so it's another hell-like connection there.
You know, I never thought about it, but something that's weird there, they do talk about it being a place of unlimited, does it say unlimited blackness or unlimited darkness? What does it say? Darkness. So it gives the impression that it's a huge expanse, but on the other hand, the way that the visitors are told by the people, watch it, this is my space, it kind of gives the impression that people are crowded in there. And the eyes altogether give the impression that there's really not that much space, too. It's,
Well, that suggests to me that even though it's very large, there's a huge number of people in there.
It could be.
Maybe just a few standing
Perhaps
around.
billions. Perhaps this abyss is where we all end up in our own ways.
All right, we got the voice is cold, and that can connect to the whole theme of it, of warm being good and cold being bad, and the Tao. And clearly, we have too much yin here and no balance at all. If Tao is the religion of the day here. In any case, it's a bad place. You don't want to end up here. Is the overall theme, I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
This is the only room that ends in a period. It's a very appropriate use of punctuation.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's the only way. It's the only way the story can end, too. I mean, there is no victory end state for me other than knowing that you've done it. But there's no finish line you get to run across. The only way that the story of those visitors ends is if you go to 24, which is
Right.
kind of,
Room 1 doesn't have different text when you come back out to it.
right. And nor does it permit going back to the prologue or anything like that. There's no other exit condition. You can imagine, I guess, but in reality, in the text of the book, the only way for those visitors to end up is in 24.
Yeah, you get a turtle that won the race and all sorts of stuff like that, but you don't get a period to say, yeah, this is the end of the story or anything like that.
Yeah.
This room, it sort of gave me the impression, it was really the defining factor. Can you close the door, please? It was the defining factor of me coming up with my Charon theory because of the whole Stygian gloom thing, which, obviously is not right. Why Raven was like, oh yeah, how cute, he came up with this idea, but it's not that. But I think there is some good evidence towards that theory, even though it's not true.
Did you find anything to support that outside of this room?
The wording Stygian gloom, and the whole sort of aspect of the maze of being led somewhere, like in the same sense that Sharon leads the dead to the underworld on his ship.
And Charon takes coins from the dead who come to cross.
That's right,
him,
but
right?
but they have neither made up their minds nor have any coins. So.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think there are any coins depicted in Maze
Not
because
at all.
the guide took them.
The closest thing to a coin is in 33. It's the signet ring, and that's not a coin.
Yeah.
Well, or they've already lost their coins before they got there. I mean, souls have to cross the river Styx, whatever location in the underworld they're going to, right? Whether it's the Elysian Field or
Tartarus. Yeah,
yeah.
they have to traverse the Styx no matter what direction they're going, up or down.
So, I mean, if having no coins means something, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are right now in the process of crossing, but it may just mean...
Well, it could mean that they already spent their coins,
right.
to
Right.
Charon. They've already given it to him, and this is him leading them through the underworld.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well,
Yeah,
or it's not. It's somebody else, but I just mean, regardless of whether we see this as just hell or we see the maze as representing the different parts of the underworld because it's possible to escape, I guess, internal captivity and blackness. You would have to pay your coin up front before you even got in the door.
Yes. Well, it was traditional for the Greeks and Romans to put a coin under the dead's tongue for that purpose, like in real life.
Like in real life. Yeah,
well, as opposed to in legend, like
were...
they didn't put the tongue under Hercules's mouth. I'm just saying, like, in the real Roman world, this was a ceremony.
Yeah, you're saying real life people would do that too, not just the Greeks and Romans.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I was thinking it just could mean that, like, once you get in the trap, you can't get back because you don't have any coins across the river or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of reminds me of the story of what was it? The guy with the harp.
Orpheus.
Orpheus, yeah, and then when he turned back, his girlfriend was lost. So the last legs of the journey, when they told him, don't turn around, because that's the one condition that we have, that you bring her back. And then he did turn around, and she got sort of hailed back into the Tartarus or whatever.
Oh, wait,
I digress.
You're thinking of Black Orpheus.
No, Black Orpheus is a great movie. I don't think that has anything to do with.
It's interesting. I didn't really think about it by now. I mean, I always start out by saying it's interesting, and then say something that's pretty far-fetched to say it's interesting. But anytime you're thinking of mazes and stuff, you think of Theseus, the Minotaur, and stuff like that. But Theseus did also have a well-known journey into the underworld when he went down there with his buddy. I can't remember his buddy's name, but they went down there to kidnap Persephone, right? So there is a Theseus overlap there between Labyrinth and Underworld. But yeah, I guess
didn't Theseus? He stole her for the purpose of it was sort of like a marital thing, like the father could have her for 6 months of the year. It was sort of like a divorce going on there.
Theseus? I don't think so. I think they were just going down to kidnap her so his buddy could have his way with her.
I wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think that was earlier with her mom. Wasn't her mom like the goddess of the harvest or whatever? And
Demeter.
Yeah. Or am I thinking of someone else? I don't know.
No, it was Demeter. She's the goddess of the harvest, I believe.
I think they worked that out up front. I think that was up front a part of Persephone's deal with Hades.
There was a contract there. There was some kind of legally binding contract that I'm sure Vance could read better than us.
It was a contract based on pomegranate seeds.
Which are still considered legally binding.
Yeah.
Ready to...
What else we have, Dave?
Okay. Doors is repeated in the text. I'm not sure that's as significant as repeated words in other rooms, but here the other thing I can think it could do is that if you're counting, you start counting doors, and to get to 190, you mentioned in room 5, you need the 4 that lead here. Just to mention the 4, there's 11, which is your last chance in the trap. There's 14, where you measure very small, and you end up here if you follow the paperclip. There's 21, where I think the guide is saying never more, and they tell them to shut up, and he effectively tells them they can go to hell. And then there's 4, which to me is just sort of random. There's no reason for it being there, and it would be better if it were swapped with room 42 so that the bear directs them over here instead of the 22.
I can see what you're saying with that. Yeah.
It's just...
It does seem like that 24 is kind of hanging out there as a seriously, like the worst place you can go, and there's not really much of an indication that it is. Whereas, yeah, in the bear room...
You know what? If you wanna stay on that coin thing with Sharon, they say, "Shall we toss a coin?" In
That's right.
So there you go. There's your coin. That could justify 24's presence in that room.
Relation to the coin.
Yeah, there you go. Jot that one down, Alex.
Well, yeah, that's my first note when they come up with the discussion. It's about stuff about coins. All right, so what else we got here? Room 1 says, the uncertainty of my visitors is one of his pleasures. And in 24, he calls them his uncertain visitors. So basically it connects back to room 1, and it's like, okay, so he's basically sadistic here. This is one of his pleasures that he gets to lead people here.
Oh, wow, it actually refers to them as uncertain visitors in 24?
Yeah, those exact words.
Wow.
You're right. That's a solid connection. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, that's just totally. That's pretty cool. I think that's, again, has nothing to do with any kind of solution, I don't think, but that is such a cool connection because in room 1 that seems so benign or playful. It's like, the uncertainty of visitors, and then by the time you reach 24, whoa, you guys hearing that voice again?
Heard something.
Okay.
Wasn't me. I thought that was Alex again.
Anyway,
Muted.
by the time you get to 24, now I lost my train of thought. What do you got?
Yeah, there's a payoff there, showing that this is in fact what the guide wanted all along.
Yeah, from the beginning. What else you got, Dave?
Get a more technical point. If you're up to the riddle, the guide uses this room. The keyword in this room is darkness. It's in the very first sentence. And room 29 directs us here on the riddle of the path. It's here blindness is no disadvantage. So if you're in 29, you see that blindness is no disadvantage. Aha, that's 24. So you go there. And then the text to the next room from here is the guy says, watch your step. And that should make us think of room 23, where it's, the guide tells us watch your step with the glass. So there's a little chain of breadcrumbs that leads from, the identity. It asks, who am I, basically, in room 45, and you go room by room, and it gives you a chain of one-word things that you chain together to make some sort of clue to the identity of the guide. So the word you're supposed to get here is darkness, I think.
And what are the words when you put them all together?
In dark beginning time, I stole the sun.
Whoa.
We just lose Dave?
We just lost. Well, here, I'll re-invite him. We'll see.
Did you catch what he said? In dark beginning time, I stole
the sun.
But the last word should be darkness, right? I don't remember. I didn't hear what he said. Something. In dark beginning time, I stole the sun. Is that what it was?
Like that.
Yeah, I don't know if he was finished with it.
That would be Prometheus.
Alex. No, is Alex there?
See if we can get him back.
Alex, we don't have video feed for you.
Alex, are you muted?
I don't hear sound either. This is
A few
unfortunate.
minutes. Keep.
Okay.
What else
I
do we
guess-
have about room 24? Are we?
I kind of question the use of the cartoon glowing eyes in 24. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I mean,
It is kind of a shift.
yeah. And on one hand, I think it undermines a little bit the real dark creepiness of 24. On the other hand, maybe it does help create the dark creepiness. Like I don't know how effective do you think it would be if it were just a straight black page?
I think less effective. As it is, it certainly creeped me out as a kid. I think he probably could have done a more realistic-looking glowing eyes depiction if he'd wanted to. I'm sure he considered it.
You
Probably
know?
without pupils, which would be creepy.
Yeah, some of those eyes are really, I don't want to say sloppily drawn, but they're really cartoony. Just the shape of them don't look.
There's that one pair, the one that's kind of like off to the side. The one that looks kind of angry.
No,
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, that one's an odd shape. Especially the one on our left in that pair. And I agree they look pretty cartoony, but the thing is, non-cartoony eyes don't actually glow in the dark like this. So you really didn't have... It would have been hard to do the darkness except for just eyes thing without making it look cartoony.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say impossible. I think there probably are ways to do that.
Let's see, the bad part here is Alex was he was supposed to be headlining the second part of this episode because he said he had
Something about the identity of the guide?
he said he thought it was a good solution for the identity of the guide he was going to tell us about. Well, are you still there, Andrew?
Andrew?
Okay, we've got no Andrew.
Okay, well...
Said he'd be back in a few minutes.
Alright, well, until he gets back.
And I'm back.
Oh. Not Alex.
Okay.
Cool.
Into this or what?
We can kind of hear you. What's going on?
Oh, you guys are breaking up. I don't know. Do you want me to get into this with the guide, or what's the deal? Are we waiting for Beals?
That's what we've been kind of trying to wonder. No, well, I'm not sure whether he's gone. His profile pic was up there, which meant his camera was off, but now his profile pic's gone.
Do we have video feedback?
No.
This room is kind of dark.
Wow. Seems like we're dropping like flies here.
And I don't hear him. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead, because otherwise we're going to do 15 minutes talking about how...
Yeah, we should just press on.
Okay, so some people have said that it's impossible to get the guide's identity without going through every room and basically picking out every clue and finding out what's left there. But I think I've sort of got the magic flute, if you want to talk Mario Brothers 3 style, and I've warped a few levels here, and I've made some headway here with the identity of the guide, and I believe I've figured out who it was. And I didn't believe in myself, but all the clues just came together way too creepily, and well, need to ignore it.
Whoa!
So
you guys hearing that?
I have to share it with you. That's not me.
It's not me. Is that me? Seems like somebody was inviting to a video call.
That's what it sounded like, and I don't know, but I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
but we're already in the call.
So anyway, so the defining
What?
sort of led me to this, apart from all the other clues that I'm about. When you go into 6 and you read that sign on the wall where it says, the person in the maze is none other but Michael Jackson, the king of pop. I'm going to let that simmer for a second here because there are so many damn clues that you're having flashbacks of right now that just confirm this theory. There's no other way. This is the only thing it could possibly be. When you look at the white glove in 35, you can't help think of Michael Jackson's gloves and how he used them in pretty much every dance.
And it's just because
it's just one glove there. Yeah.
Right, because it only has the one arm. So we got one glove.
And my second clue.
The tricky thing with that totem, why there's only the one glove and arm.
Well, listen, there's only one glove, but there are many moons, and we know that he was the king of the moonwalk, and in practically every room, he's moonwalking.
Oh. God, I didn't think of that.
Sort of moonwalking there around. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's mind-blowing. There's all sorts of other evidence, too. There's, you know, the fact that he's talking about his deceptive family, and I believe that they did deceive him into a life of fame and fortune. And, you know, I wouldn't forgive them if it was me. And, you know, there are just so many things in the whole thing. And in 24, back to 24, you know, all the children that he's kidnapped are all down there in the pits just looking at you with their cartoonish eyes. And now you're down with them, too, because, you know, you were referred to as a child in the whole maze by MJ himself. And so, you know, that's how it goes. Eventually you're going to end up in his Euro Disney hotel room.
So you're relating all the king, royalty, crown stuff to Michael Jackson being the king of pop.
That's correct, Vince.
Well, and the fame stuff in general. Like on Room 16, the guy talks about how even if a lot of the stories that everyone's telling about him are lies, it's still immortality of a sort. Like, that does seem to be screwing some famous person.
That's right.
Okay. But, okay, I mean, I can see it. Here's a question. Books published in 1985. Do you know when Michael Jackson adopted the title King of Pop?
It would have been in the late 80s, for sure. It would have been after the book was published. And the fact that the book was published in black and white, you know, sort of reminds us of his single, It Doesn't Matter If You're Black and White, which I believe was in 1987. So the coherency of the timing does make sense.
Okay. You got that, I mean, some of the music, whoa, is Ben gone?
I believe so. It looks like he's muted, but he could be gone. It's a possibility.
He went to his profile picture. And nobody's coming back on. Andrew hasn't come back. Gentile? It's, oh shit, how did he say his name? It's Gentile, right? Is Alex gone? Oh, well this is, oh shit. Well, this is gonna make for a thrilling episode. I guess it's just me now. I don't know if anyone's gonna come back in, or I'm just gonna be here alone for a while.